Hey guys, welcome to the video. I want to give a shout out to doesittrack. Before we get started, that fine gentleman put out a video on a hack to get this bad boy off, the coolant intake cross member. The problem is, initially with this bad boy, this gasket here with the plastic housing has a thin part right here because of this hole. Over time it gets old and brittle and you get a substantial leak because of it. What happens is you get coolant leaking over the top of the block here by the intake manifold, leaks out the back by the transmission clutch converter. And that's how you really can differentiate where your leak is coming from and know that that's the problem. You also have fluid or coolant dripping right in front of this idler pulley over this housing right here, and also into the fifth spark plug well. Not good. So the problem is, when they designed this, they decided not to round this off. The way you have to do it is use this file. What happens is this part right here is the same as that, and you're not able to take this cross member and pull it up because of this overhang on the intake manifold. So you have to pull it forward and then lift it up. You can't do that because this is squared off rather than rounded off. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes. In his video, if you want to reference that, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes. It's pretty soft. It's aluminum, obviously. You just file it down and it does the trick. Also, I wanted to add a few other suggestions to make this job a little bit easier as well. Number one, you don't have to take this plastic off, and there's no reason to do that. You also, with the alternator, you don't have to take it completely off. You just have to set it to the side. You have this bolt here and that bolt there, and that's it. You set it off to the side. Obviously, disconnect the battery, and you won't have any issues whatsoever. The other problem is to hang up is this bolt right here. One back here is so covered up by the intake manifold, and the thermostat housing really doesn't come into play, but does a little bit, and you can't get a socket in here. And to put a wrench on, you can't do it here and you can't do it here because you just don't have the space. Luckily I had a ratcheting wrench here that I could just get enough play so I could get it loose. Now it does get corroded in there, so I used some of the sea spray there to loosen it up, and I was able to actually break it loose with a little bit of effort. But I suggest, because where is that? The swivel. I don't have the small one, but you know, these swivel extensions, but the 1/4 inch swivel doesn't fit back in there either. So the suggestion is, I'm going to leave a link to what I think would work. Is basically it's a flex socket that's short that you can get in behind here and maybe get it that way. But if worst case scenario happens, you just get an 8mm wrench and kind of push it, take it off, put it back on. So that's just a pain. It'll take a while, but it is doable. The other thing is this gasket decided to break loose when I was at work, and I mean, it really puts out a bunch. I mean, you'll lose a gallon of coolant within 5 minutes. So I was at work. I had to get home. I was about 20 miles. I actually bought some of this stuff, $4. Mixed it up in a little bit of water in my jug, poured it in, boom, right there, and it was able to seal it off just enough where I was only getting a couple drops at a time versus it just pouring out, and then made a big difference. So I recommend that you get that. If you can limp it to an auto parts place, if you can put some water in it, get you there. Let's see if there's anything else. I think those are the main things that I saw that makes the job easier. The alternator, consideration for that bolt. I would put this bolt in first. That gives you a little bit of play so you can wiggle it in and actually access a little bit better if you can kind of pull the coolant intake. And I didn't disconnect the hoses. That's the only thing I did. Excuse me, I didn't disconnect the main radio hose. This little T bar here is where I decided to take it off because it's a little corroded here. Sometimes those could be a pain to get off. That was quite easy. So I think that's it. Again, it's doesittrack. track, and he has a about 4-minute video. Kind of goes over the same thing, but you might want to check him out. I appreciate what you did, bud. Got me through without having to spend a few $100s and several hours trying to get this off, or even taking it to the shop, because I may not even, I wouldn't have done it, because you got to take the fuel rails off and injectors. It's just the pain. This makes it so much easier. You take 2 minutes. You're not going to hurt anything by taking off this little bit of corner right here. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you checking out the video. Other than that, have a peaceful day, and I appreciate it. Bye.